Order filled.
There's my order filled. All right, that was a crap morning, but I saved myself and I earned $1,902. So, um, would have been a lot more of a morning if my first trade would have went through. So I'm gonna have to come back and uninstall this thing and reinstall.
Awesome job.
Thank you, buddy. And look, it's still continuing down, but I had a set target of 2,000 a day. That's where I set my order. It finally got filled.
Cool.
So that's how it's done. But you saw that I called the break, right?
Right, right.
So the break and the fib levels here, those fib 1 and 2, those are my targets.
Okay.
So once you break here and you hit here, essentially you're supposed to pull half of your position off. And then the other half gets pulled off at this level. So if you had 20 going in here, you would sell 10 here and 10 here. And if you look at the fib levels, it hit that one perfectly and hit that one perfectly.
So the execution, what is that platform that you're using, or what is it, that software that you're using that's glitching?
This is Interactive Brokers.
Oh, okay.
This is the same thing you're using. So sometimes it's good just to have a fresh start.
Okay.
Maybe I've messed with something that it doesn't like. I'm not sure. Also, a lot of my numbers aren't matching up with the current price. As you saw, I had orders way up here. Look, orders are still way up here. I don't know if yours is like that, but
Right.
we're at 565 now.
No, actually, I don't have a platform loaded. I'm just watching because, like I said, I'm pretty new to all of, options. So
Okay.
I'm just trying to get my sense of what's going on, and I don't even know how to fully navigate the platform as yet. But still learning that.
Yeah, so over here, this is my basically like the Thinkorswim ladder, right? This is called an order window, I believe. Let me see what
Order
it's called.
book, I think they call it, or
Order
book trader.
Order book trader. Yep, right there, book trader. So this allows me to like sell and buy, but I had, I thought it was a good thing at the time, doing a limit order with a 5 cent variance, right?
Right.
So I would get, oh, that's not it right there. So I would end up with a good fill, not marketing in.
Right.
But this thing was moving so much today that I couldn't. By the time I hit my limit order and the 5 cent variance, it was not filling. Look,
Right. Right.
all of these are failed orders. I can't do anything with these. So I hopped back in there real quick and changed it to a market order so I could mark it in. And by the time I was able to take a real trade, I had already blown up my buying power because it was a glitch.
Oh, okay. So maybe
So
you're gonna have to uninstall everything and try.
yeah, I'm gonna uninstall Interactive Brokers and reinstall, and then instead of pulling from my old data file, I think I'm just going to rebuild it all from scratch, and then I'll upload that file to the website. But yes, that's how you trade options. So you're basically trading an option like a stock.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. See, it seems fairly straightforward.
It's super straightforward. And another thing that I've been dealing with or wanting to execute is the 15-minute orb opening range on a 15-minute. So this is the high and the low of the 15-minute, and as it broke this line, you would stay in this until you hit your levels.
So
Because it's going to be a longer run.
right. So it's kind of like a breakout strategy that you're trading then.
This one is.
Yeah. Okay.
I usually scalp the 15-second,
Okay.
but I have lost money this last 2 weeks trying to do my normal scalps because it's been so choppy.
I watched some of your videos from like way back. Are the moving averages, is that something new to the equation, or was that your original method, or?
Yeah, doing the 15-second moving average,
Mm-hmm.
we use the 3 over the 5.
Okay.
And doing that on the 15-second is basically a momentum trade,
Right.
and that's going to be based off these arrows here. These arrows indicate when the cross happens. I don't have the moving averages on my screen because I like to see my candles. So I
Okay.
just have these.
Right. Right.
Be- because once you have, like personally, it's my personal preference.
Uh-huh.
Once I have all of these on, it's just a lot going on, right? So I like to put in just the arrows. I'll just have it like that. But essentially, if you came here, the actual strategy that I usually trade would have taken the trade right here and ran this down. And then the second one would have been the retest here, and it would have taken this trade here through VWAP. I would have been one trade and probably done. If I felt I needed a second, I would have got in on that one. And all of these trades happened before 9:25, 9:35, I mean. So this is where I mainly concentrate, here and here. But since the choppiness of the market and being basically having a lot of fake outs, I decided to go ahead and do the orb, the opening range break this week, so I could basically hone in on that strategy.
Right.
We have four that we use, right? We have anytime we have a strong pre-market, meaning we have a gap up, we have price action over VWAP, and sometimes the market maker candles pointing to the downward. 80% of the time they do. Anyway, those three things line up, and we know we're going to have a strong morning. We go ahead and wait for the pullback into VWAP, and then we take calls. The opposite side, we have a gap down, price action and pre-markets under VWAP. Market maker candles are pointing up to the up direction, and the market maker candles are clearing imbalances, right? So they can move on down. They don't like to leave open orders if they can capitalize on them. So when we have a mixed open, like today, let's just say a gap up, price under VWAP, market maker candles both directions, something that's unclear, then we're going to give it time to shake itself out, pick a direction. And today it picked its direction at 9:39. And then we would take this move here to here and call it a day.
So you're looking for what, like 50 cents or?
Sure. But the thing is, the downward pressure or the upward pressure of the price moves the premium of the options. So if you have a violent thrust down right here, selling this area is like selling down here because of the Greeks, how they calculate price. So if a stock sells here, a stock sells here for that exact number. If you sell into a momentum push, options are actually worth, sometimes 50% more than what's being shown. So these small moves can actually be double their size. And just like if you get into a momentum squeeze right here on these big candles, you may get in here, and let's say you got out at VWAP. If you were marketing out, you would actually market out closer to the top. If you market it out at the top, you're actually going to market out down here because the pullback will eat your premium. That's why I started using limit orders, because the market orders were screwing me too much. I would get out at the wrong timing, and guess what? I'm getting filled down here now. And sometimes even a red day. I could be up $1,700. Oh, a real example. I was up $900. I marketed out for a negative $300.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yep. So I'm like, screw this, and this is where the ladder came in. I said, I'm going to the ladder so I can tell them the price that I want, because there's no slippage with the ladder, right?
Yeah, right.
You just have to wait for it. So I sold that at 514, and we're already up. We got orders being filled up here at 614 just about. I had another $1 I could have got out of that. But look at the levels. See, these levels are very relevant that I put up.
Yeah, I like
Almost to the
those
T.
levels. Yeah, they all come into play.
Yeah, almost to the T. And I do these every morning. I really didn't have anything to the high side because I wasn't really expecting to go up. Those are actually from yesterday. But every level that I place is a target level. 1, 2, and then we hit our third target. And I guarantee you right now, because we broke this opening range on the 15, at some point today, we're probably going to hit this 414.42 because the futures did as well.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I'm using the stock charts to trade options. That's what people don't understand. A lot of people use options charts and it doesn't look right. You never know what's going on with that option because you're not seeing what the overall or the underlying is doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we trade the underlying, and then instead of pressing, to go long or to short the stock, we're buying calls or puts. This guy looks like it's setting up to dump a little bit further too. But yeah, that's it. That's how we're trading these, and I need to go through it. Like I said, I'm going to reinstall all this today. I have to. It's costing me money.
Yeah, it's. I think once it starts to glitch, electronics are really funny like that. They'll mess up the orders.
Yes, I definitely got to uninstall this, reinstall it, and get the bugs worked out. Thankfully, I still made $1,900. So.
So
and that. What's that?
Do you always trade that big size, or
I'm actually sized down right now because of the price. So I like to trade 50 contracts. But don't get me wrong, I started trading with, actually this account I started with $990.
Wow.
And I grew it to 33,000.
So what were you doing? On average, when you started with $900, like 5 contracts?
Or? I was trading Apple from anywhere between 1 to 3 contracts. And then I started gradually increasing my contracts on Apple to 5. And then I went over to SPY, which was my go-to before Apple. And I started buying expiration dates. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I started doing 10 to 15. And I started raking in, $400, $300, and I started growing that account. And then once I got up to, 8, 9, 10 grand, I could buy 25, I could buy 30. And sometimes I was going 2 out of the money if I knew it was a good run, just because they were cheaper. And I was actually banking $600, $700 on 10, 15 contracts on SPY. And just like I've shown right now, that was 18 contracts, and we just did $1,900.
Right.
So you just slowly build, and then you get comfortable using the method. And I think it's good to start with a small account because you're definitely wanting to grow the account. You don't want to take losses, and you get the strategy down without taking a huge red day if it doesn't work, right? And what you do in the development of that is you're basically ingraining your own rules. I'm not going to take this trade. I am going to take this trade. I'm going to get out at this level. I have, 1 contract. It's not a big deal. And then you start gradually coming up in contract size, and your vision of that contract size doesn't change. Now 5 feels like 1, 10 feels like 5, right? And then you slowly get up to 50, where 50 feels like 10 to me. And this just, you're used to it.
Yeah,
you're just used to it. And if you look at a P&L, the P&L doesn't scare you anymore because you're down $1,000. You're like, that's nothing. It's gonna go in my direction, and I'm gonna come out green because I've been doing this day in, day out. I know it's gonna happen right now.